This is a presentation regarding my mini research project at Morgan Castle, and I would first like to share with you my research question, which was, how do in-program school librarians perceive their roles to be moving towards technology specialists in the field of library science? So we're just focusing, for this study, I just focused on in-program librarians, not ones who are currently practicing. So the research design that I chose was a focus group. Because my concern was perceptions, this made the most sense because I needed the thoughts of my user group. So the research subjects, though that seems pretty obvious, I had initially wanted to include current librarians, especially those in my district. However, since I did not have a human subject research form, I wasn't able to do that. There were 19 possible participants, but I only had 16 responses, so that's where my data collection will come from. And so, in terms of the literature review, there was nothing on my specific question in terms of perception. There was lots talking about a shift in the role, and that it was clearly shifting towards technology. But it also remarked that librarians are still teachers and still delivering content and curriculum, though that content and method of delivery may have changed in recent years. So for data collection, I used SurveyMonkey with 5 open-ended questions. I really liked SurveyMonkey. It made it simple to ask what I needed for my data. And with open-ended questions, I could really get people's thoughts and feelings instead of having to put them in a certain box or certain answer. So the demographics I collected were gender, year obtained bachelor's degree, because I thought that might have some effect on their perception of technology, and then what level they taught, whether it was elementary, middle, or high school, and then what subject they currently taught. So here we have a data visualization of the male and female participants in my study. As you can see, it was overwhelmingly female with only one male respondent. Then we have the year the person graduated with their bachelor's degree. Over half of my participants graduated 2011 or after, and I think this definitely did play a role in their perception of technology because it's been such a part of their life. We only had 2 respondents pre-2000. So in terms of subjects currently taught, 41% currently taught English, which was not a surprise, but 29% currently teach science, which I thought was interesting and wondered how that played into their perception of technology, since science is usually abreast of all the technological advances. So level of teaching, over half of my respondents were elementary, and then coming up next, high school, and then only 2 were middle school teachers. So these are the current perceived roles of school librarians according to these in-program participants. It's really a variety of roles, none being extremely dominant. So we have collection management and collaboration at the top of the responsibilities and role. And then coming up are technology skills and technology help and maintenance. And then in a very small way, their current perceived role was promoting reading. Now, this is a comparison to have this. I asked, what do they think the roles were before the internet as opposed to the current roles? As you can see, collection was a huge responsibility pre-internet, and it's not so much the only role and responsibility that's important today. Collaboration was still in there, but promoting reading was much higher as a thought before the internet. These are the perceived information technology roles that participants felt. Again, they're pretty much all over the board. They're going to be responsible for quite a few elements of information technology. So, mostly technology organization and maintenance at 30%, then coming up, introducing and being aware of new technology resources, collection technology, keeping that collection maintained, and then technology skills and help. Library website was actually only what 2 people said they would be responsible for. So I'm wondering if my participants just weren't thinking about that or if they didn't really see that as a role. Impacts of technology, this is what my respondents said, and there were many and pretty much holding the same weight. Technology has made collection maintenance easier, and the impact has also had them become more teachers of technology, has given more resources, but also more responsibility. But when asked whether these impacts were predominantly positive or negative, it was 100% positive, which was very surprising to me because I know my current school librarian has expressed some concern about this shift in roles. And then when questioned about the vital technologies for a successful program, school library program, the biggest was definitely circulation software, but then coming right up against that was Wi-Fi, and then a variety of technologies for students to use, database access, and a reading program, and then a small portion, interactive library website. Everyone did perceive there have been changes in the past 5 years, and these are those changes. Many of the respondents felt that school librarians have become responsible for technology much more in the past 5 years, in addition to teaching technology skills. There was still collaboration with instruction going on, though. I questioned my participants about how they felt about the role shifting. Over half said that they felt it was a high possibility. Some already felt it had occurred, some were indifferent, some were unlikely. You felt that it was unlikely, but those are just one each. And then we did have a few people feel that it was overshadowing traditional literacy methods. So in conclusion, I felt that even though based on the study the perception was predominantly positive, there were still lots of concerns like more responsibilities, being in charge of technology, charge of maintenance, and the loss of traditional literacy methods that maybe they felt were key to their program. But it also said that this will be an ongoing conversation, and hopefully a topic of continued study in the field. And then I have my references listed. Apologize for that being cut off at the bottom. I didn't realize it would do that. And thank you for reviewing my presentation.